How is everybody doing? We're going to take a look at the Pet Shop Boys, the studio albums on vinyl. Pet Shop Boys, in my mind, are probably the best British songwriting duo of the last 35 years plus. Their songs are really catchy, songs are fantastic, arrangements are brilliant. They really are one of the best songwriting duos. I would put them up there with Lennon and McCartney. A lot of people mightn't agree with that, but they are fantastic and their music is well worth investigation, no matter what kind of music you like. Okay, we're going to kick off with Please. This was released in 1986, the debut. They had recorded some singles before this, and West End Girls was released in 1985. But this is a great album. Kicks off with 2 divided by 0, and then West End Girls, Opportunities, Let's Make Lots of Money, very 80s. Yuppies and stuff like that come to mind. Love Comes Quickly, it's a great track, and then Suburbia, that was a big hit in 1986. Tonight Is Forever, Violence, I Want a Lover. Later Tonight, Why Don't We Live Together. This was produced by Stephen Hagg and engineered by David Jacob at Advision Studios, London. This is an original Parlophone. I always like the way they kind of use the minimalist approach to their albums. Loads of other photographs in here. It's the Parlophone platter itself, just like the Beatles. Yeah, so they're good album, and it shows a lot of ambition and style. Album number 2 was called Actually, and this was a big album in 1987, and it's a great album as well. It's got some brilliant songs on it. One More Chance, and then the duet with Dusty Springfield, What Have I Done to Deserve This? Brilliant single. And you've got Shopping, Rent, that's another good one, hit music, It Couldn't Happen Here. It's a Sin, that's another brilliant track that was a hit in the summer of 1987. I Want to Wake Up, Heart, King's Cross. After this one they released Always on My Mind as a single as well, but it's not on the album. There's full stops after every track as well, which I've only just noticed now. Again, this is a Parlophone pressing. It's in excellent condition, and yeah, there's different producers I think for different tracks. There you go. That is actually the second long player from Pet Shop Boys. Next up is Introspective. This was released in 1988. This was a departure from the first two. Songs are longer, and it's more of a dance album, I'd say. But it's got the fantastic Left My Own Devices, I Want a Dog. That was actually a B-side from 1987, but it's a re-recording here. Domino Dancing, that's another great track as well, a Latin feel to it. I'm Not Scared, that's another brilliant Pet Shop Boys song, but it was released in 1987 by 8 Wonder, a band with Patsy Kensit. And Always on My Mind, In My House, that's a remix of that track, a re-recording, and it's got In My House as a tag on it. And then It's Alright, that's a cover of a dance track as well, a house track. But, this is a good album, it's very entertaining, produced by Trevor Horn no less, one of my favourite producers. It's Chris Lowe, Neil Tennant. This is an Italian pressing, I think. I got it on my holidays, the 20th of the 7th, 05. There you go, San Remo, Italy. Yeah, I used to travel the world back then looking for records. And this is just a limited edition. I bought it because it's really cool. It's got three discs and thicker sleeve, but each 2 songs is on a 12-inch, obviously, with oversized labels, which is really cool. There's a picture on each one. That is so cool. I think the Pet Shop Boys were actually always into vinyl. Everything they've ever done has come out in vinyl. Well, nearly everything. There's a few CD compilations that didn't make the cut, but their stuff is actually quite expensive. If you go online looking for stuff, you'll see how much it's worth. Actually, there was no need to actually take these out. The die cuts are huge also, but this is a nice item. I'm sure there's another version of it in coloured vinyl. I can't remember, but it's horrendously expensive. Yeah, so that's it, and you notice as well the stripes go the opposite way. Next up is Behaviour. This is from 1990. This is one of the reissues on 180 gram heavyweight vinyl from 2018. I had an original, I don't know, the cover was damaged or missing, I can't remember, but it's a fantastic album. It really is a good album. There's more song structure here. They kind of go backwards to the Actually era, and the songs are fantastic. Quite a deep album as well. Being Boring is on it. This must be the place I waited years to leave to face the truth. That's a brilliant track. I love that one. How can you expect to be taken seriously? That's just about pop stars, you know, virtue signalling and stuff like that. Only the Wind, Inside 2, My October Symphony, So Hard, Nervously, The End of the World, and Jealousy. That's a fantastic song as well. I think that was one of their old songs they wrote back in the early 80s. This one was produced by Harold Faltermeyer. You might know him. Axel F. Get nothing in here. There you go. So yeah, that's Behaviour, and it's a good behaviour. Next up is Very. This was released in 1993. This album is an absolute fantastic album. I think it's their best album. There's actually not one duff track on the whole thing, and every song could have been a single. There's tracks on it as far as I know. You might know the CD of this came in a kind of a Lego style orange jewel case. It's really, really good. It's got track titles are tiny. Can You Forgive Her? That's a brilliant track. I wouldn't normally do this kind of thing. Liberation, Different Point of View, Dreaming of the Queen, Yesterday When I Was Mad, The Theatre, One on One Make Five, To Speak Is a Sin, Young Offender is another brilliant track. 1 in a Million, and a cover of the Village People disco classic, Go Away. This is an original from back in the day. There's an advertising board inside the vinyl, which is, I don't know if this came with us or not, but it's cool. The singles on this were remixed as well. Yeah. Produced by Pet Shop Boys, Stephen Hagg. He's been with them for a long time. This really is a classic. I have 2 copies of the Lego box because you find it in second-hand shops all the time for a couple of pounds or euro, whatever you want to call it. But and there's also a version, Very Relentless, which comes in the plastic pouch, which is easy enough to get, and it's got an instrumental album on there as well. But I think there is also a vinyl version of Relentless. I could be wrong, I could be right. Anyway, still fantastic album. Next up is Bilingual. Again, this is a reissue because the original is too expensive. I couldn't track it down. 2018 reissue. This one from 1996. This was kind of a... So I started buying this stuff back in 2001 on the deluxe CD editions. Bilingual was always kind of less accessible. I found it a little bit boring. It was being boring. But it does grow on you over the years. There's some good stuff on it. It's a kind of, it doesn't really stand out in their canon though. Discoteca, yeah, I wouldn't really be gone on that. Single, Metamorphosis, Electricity, say V-Day. That was a cool track. It always comes as a surprise. Red Letter Day, kind of slow, somber stuff. Up Against It, The Survivors. Before, that's another good track as well. Housey style track. To Step Aside, Saturday Night Forever. Yeah, this was kind of under the radar. I remember seeing it in the shops back when it came out. It was like, yeah, the Pet Shop Boys. It was still there, but it was. I think their imperial phase was long gone. Yeah, I'm sure there's different versions of this. The inside of the sleeve is also printed as well. But it's still a good album, It's definitely not their best, but it's still pretty cool. Next up is Nightlife. This is from 1999. This one kind of slipped by. Didn't make much fuss at the time. This is an original. Some good songs on here, but it's Begin, wouldn't be my favourite. For Your Own Good, Closer to Heaven. I Don't Know What You Want, but I Can't Give It Anymore. That's a fantastic track, really is. I love it. Happiness Is an Option. Kind of hip-hoppy kind of style beats and stuff, and acoustic guitars come in. You Only Tell Me You Love Me When You're Drunk. Kind of country thing there. Vampires, Radiophonic. The Only One, Boy Strange. In Denial. That's a duet with Kylie Minogue and New York City Boy. It's almost like a remake of Village People. And then Footsteps. Yeah. Like I said, it wouldn't be my favourite by any means, but still entertaining, I mean, most of the stuff they do is very good, but I think this was kind of a low period for them. I think they were still touring, they were still popular, but musically I think it was kind of a low period after the massive success of the 80s and then moderate success in the late 90s. Next up is Release. Again, this is the reissue from 2017. This one was kind of a return to writing poppy stuff again, and it's got guitars on it and everything. Home and Dry reminds me of The Police. That's a great track. I Get Along. It reminds me of Oasis. Birthday Boy, London, Email. The Samurai in Autumn. Love It. A Catastrophe. That's a great track actually. Here. The Night You Fell in Love. You Choose. It's not a bad album. It's pretty engaging. As far as I know, Johnny Marr plays guitar in this one. It's a good album. Yeah, picks up the pace a little from the two that came before it. It's got a kind of more of a guitar-driven sound to it. Next up is Fundamental. This was released in 2006. It's produced by Trevor Horn, one of my favourite producers. It's a great album, one of my favourites. Some great tracks on this. Psychological, brilliant. The Sodom and Gomorrah Show, excellent. I Made My Excuses and Left. Minimal. Numb, God Willing. Luna Park, that's fantastic. I'm With Stupid. Casanova in Hell, another great track. 20th Century. Indefinite Leave to Remain. Integral. Yeah, this is a good album. Yeah. Just these basic labels on it there, nothing special. Like I said, their stuff is quite minimal, the artwork and everything, but Fundamental, certainly worth investigation. Next up is Yes, and this was released in 2009. This isn't a bad album either. It was produced, I think, with Xenomania. they were the people that were responsible for writing hits for Girls Aloud and a lot of those bands at the time who were huge. They worked in a house, they'd write bits and pieces and make up music every day, and it was a big success for them. And this isn't a bad album at all, you know. It's got All Over the World, Beautiful People, that's a great track. Did You See Me Coming, Vulnerable, More Than a Dream. Side 2, Building a Wall, King of Rome, Pandemonium, The Way It Used to Be, Legacy. Yeah, it's a good album from the time. So there you go. That's Yes. Next up is Elysium. This was released in 2012. It's okay. It's not one of my favourites. Again, it's kind of a slow grower. There's some good stuff on it, but it doesn't leap out at you straight off. This is a gatefold, but I can't get the shrink wrap off it, so I'm sorry. If you want to see what it looks like, you'll have to go to Discogs. Leaving, Invisible, Winner, Your Early Stuff, A Face Like That, Breathing Space. Side B, Ego Music, Hold On, Give It a Go, Memory of the Future, Everything Means Something, Requiem in Denim, and Leopard Skin. That's a good track, actually. It's yeah, record 2 here has got instrumentals, just all instrumentals, and so this is kind of a limited edition. And I think there was a kind of CD box to match it or something like that. Again, all their stuff has been reissued in deluxe editions with all the B-sides. Their B-sides are fantastic. They really are good. They should, even if they brought all the B-sides out on vinyl, it would be great, because stuff is well worth investigation. But yeah, anyway, that's Elysium. Electric. This was released in 2013. It's a pretty good album as well. It's not on Parlophone anymore. It's on X2 or Byte 2. This is a double LP, not in a gatefold. Side A, Axis, Bolshe. Side B, Love is a Bourgeois Construct. That has the theme from With Illinois sampled through it, as far as I know. 4, Fluorescent. Side C, Inside a Dream, The Last to Die, Shouting in the Evening. Side D, Thursday, featuring Example, and 9 is Vocal. I even have the receipt for this one. The 21st of the 8th, 2013, Tower Records, Dublin. There you go. Vinyl, yeah, it was $22.99. That's quite cheap. Nearly every vinyl LP now is €30 or more. The LPs are pretty similar. Yeah, vinyl has become very, very expensive. I really have to think about it when I buy it now, because you know, you get a deluxe edition CD for less than €20, and then the vinyl itself, you know, it's very, very expensive. It's becoming increasingly expensive. I can understand manufacturing costs and all that, but it's becoming prohibitive. Some vinyl LPs are €40, which is outrageous. Next up is Super. This was released in 2016. I think I only got this in the last year or two. I don't really even remember when it came out. The artwork is really cool. Brilliant artwork. Happiness, The Pop Kids, 20-something, Groovy, The Dictator Decides, Puzzle, Inner Sanctum, Undertow, Sad Robot World, Say It To Me, Burn, Into Thin Air. I've never really listened to that much, to be totally honest. This one I have to reinvestigate, I guess. And, this one comes on white vinyl, which is beautiful. And, yeah, it's one of those ones that kind of came out, and I kind of didn't really pay any attention to it, but I had to buy the vinyl just to have it in the collection. And finally we come to Hotspot. This was released in 2020. This is definitely their best album of the last decade. Produced again by Stuart Price, who produced most of their albums from the last 10 years, and he worked with Madonna, The Killers. This is a great album. Every track on it is fantastic. And, I really like it. Will o' the Wisp, brilliant opener. You Are the One, that's a nice slow track, very good. Happy People, Dreamland, Hoping for a Miracle. Yeah, everything on this is very, very catchy. You could listen to it, I've often listened to it twice in a day. I Don't Wanna, Monkey Business, Only the Dark, Burning the Heather, it's another great track. Wedding in Berlin, it's a bit eccentric but it's good. The artwork is a bit strange on this one. Yeah, very strange. But yeah, I can highly recommend this. This is a great album. So yeah, if you don't have it, just buy it, and you'll like it. Very enjoyable. Great album by a great duo. And that's all I can say. That's all I got time for in this, and that's all there is. So thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care.